What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and today we're continuing with the 32-team 7-round mock draft series. And of the 26th of March, we're looking at the team that holds the 26th pick in the first round, and that is going to be the Atlanta Falcons. Now, when you look at the Atlanta Falcons, I'm going to be honest, look at their roster. They have one need, which we're going to address in the first round. And other than that, they're just going best player available and kind of planning for future contracts. Because you imagine Matt Ryan's going to get paid some big bucks, and you got to need to get flexible. And certain players are going to probably have to bounce. So we try to accomplish some things here in the mock draft. But before we jump in the mock draft, we need to look at what they did via free agency that sets up our draft board. So look at what they brought in. They're able just to retain their own. They were able to re-sign Matt Bryan, who's kind of an ageless wonder to kicker, kind of like Adam Vinatieri. And they had, I believe they tagged or put a tender on Ricardo Allen, who's been an all-right safety. Looking at what they lost speedster Taylor Gabriel. They lost really their wide receiver 3. Dontari Poe is gone, who kind of came in on a one-year rentals deal that I don't think they're ever really going to be able to re-sign him because he's got to get paid big bucks. I think he went to the Panthers. And they lost Adrian Claiborne. It was kind of a bust, bounced around the league, had that famous like 5 or 6 sack game against the Dallas Cowboys. Thank you very much. So they definitely did lose more than they gained, but you know, this is where the draft. A team like Atlanta doesn't have a lot of holes. They reload during the draft on guys with cheap contracts. So with that being said, jumping into the first round at pick 26, we have them selecting defensive tackle, value pick, maybe the best value pick of the first round, Maurice Hurst from Michigan. Looking at their depth chart right now, I believe right away, he's kind of like already drawing pro comparisons to Grady Jarrett, who's one of the most underrated defensive tackles in football, and pairing both those guys together is low-key kind of scary. If you're going to assume that eventually it's going to be probably Tack McKinley, Mo Hurst, Grady Jarrett, and then you assume they'll probably, I don't know why, ourlads.com, which I'm using for the depth chart, has Vic Beasley listed as an outside. Why are they playing Vic Beasley at outside linebacker? Play him at defensive end. Come on, use your head. That is a pretty good front four, to be completely honest with you. Maybe not the greatest against the run. That's why you need, you know, that's why you have phenomenal linebackers like Deion Jones and a pretty good supporting cast there in Devondre Campbell and Duke Riley. But Maurice Hurst, you know, he had a heart issue, some issue like that wouldn't let him perform at the combine. Basically went back to Michigan, had them all check it out, and did his pro day. I think he ran like a 4.9 something at his pro day. For, you know, he's not the biggest D tackle. I think he's like high 270s, low 280s, somewhere in that range. But, you know, not obviously you can't compare to Dontari Poe. They're kind of polar opposites of the position, where Dante Poe is like a nose tackle that really is almost excels more in a 4-3 than a 3-4. But Maurice Hurst is one of the, you know, if he didn't have the heart issue, no one ever brought that to light, went to the combine, put up the numbers he did, he'd be regarded as a top 15, maybe even top 10, I don't know, top 10 might be pushing a little bit, but we'll just say top 15 pick. Sitting here at 26, Falcons are laughing, Dan Quinn is laughing, they're getting an absolute bargain. Moving to the second round, pick 58, I was selecting wide receiver James Washington from Oklahoma State. At one point, he was regarded as the top wide receiver in this year's draft class by some circles. Won the Blitnikoff Trophy for the best wide receiver. You have, you know, insane stats, but it kind of comes from, you know, the spread offense. He's always was going to have pretty good numbers. The only thing that kind of hurts him a little bit, which is why I have him going, you know, late second round, did not test well in the combine. You know, he's a stockier guy, but he's a deep threat. Everyone knew his speed was not going to be truly elite, but you know, he ran like, what was it, 4.5s, like high 4.5s and stuff like that. Not exactly the time you kind of see from a guy that's, you know, billed as being a deep threat. Kind of built like a running back, good with the ball in his hands, great ball carrier vision if we're trying to, you know, relate it to Madden a little bit. But ultimately, I think because he still has just the ability to get behind people, even though his straight line out of football pad speed doesn't really match up with it, kind of feels that Taylor Gabriel, where Gabriel is your high 4.2s type runner. He was still, you know, the primary deep threat opposed to Julio Jones, where Sanu could work underneath and Hardy could work underneath. But I think a guy like James Washington in the second round can fill that kind of void there, and is a very interesting option to pair up there with Julio Jones and Mohamed Sanu. And lots of talent, lots of proven talent. You get a lot of miles, and that's a good thing. Matt Ryan just throws it up to Julio, James Washington. Let these guys get the ball, get them in space, and they're going to punish the people. Just, you know, Julio Jones, for the love of God, give him some goddamn red zone touchdowns as a Julio Jones fantasy football owner. Moving on to the third round, pick number 90. I was selecting defensive back Quentin Meeks from Stanford. Now, I'm a big Quentin Meeks fan. Didn't test at the combine. His pro day, from all reports, was very, very good. A lot of people thinking he's improving his draft stock. I think he ran, I want to say he ran like a 4.37, something like that, which is really, really good for a guy that is just a straight-up DB. I think he could probably be corner 3 on this team. I think he may be able to challenge Robert Alford a little bit because he's bigger. But ultimately, if you have Alfred and you have Trufant as your two corners with Brian Poole in the nickel, I think right there, he could be the top outside corner depth. He also adds some safety depth. You never know. You not be able to re-sign Ricardo Allen long term, then you can move him in. I think he's an upgrade over DeMonte KZ, who was a 5th-round pick in 2017. But ultimately, he's just a jack-of-all-trades, a Swiss Army knife. Kind of similar to Brian Poole a little bit. He's like a bigger, more athletic Brian Poole, and I can say that as a Gator fan that couldn't believe Brian Poole went undrafted, and then he just went right there to Dan Quinn, who used to be Florida Gators DC. But I'm a big fan of Quentin Meeks, one of my favorite defensive backs in this class, and just a bargain pick here in the 3rd round. Going to the 4th round pick, 126. I have every year I watch all the combine drills. This year I actually probably watched like 90% of them because I have a kid now, so I had to do stuff. God damn it, being a parent. And this guy here from the offensive lineman looked as good as any offense. Looked as good, I'll say this right now, as good as Quentin Nelson or Will Hernandez. Well, maybe not Will Hernandez, but Quentin Nelson, who was a big name who didn't look excellent in the drills because I think he had a little bit of an injury, which I guess kind of levels the playing field a little bit because he's that good. But out of any of the interior offensive linemen, just any of them, this guy looked great. So pick 126, offensive guard Colby Gossett from Appalachian State. Looked really, really good in the drills, tested well. I think he put up 30+ on the bench press, showed off great strength. Obviously a little bit of a small school prospect, but App State's building a nice program there. I think they have 7-8 wins, something crazy like that. Now that they're in the big boy division. So looking at the depth chart, I think he come in offensive guard 3 or 4. When you look at their team, you got Levitri, you got Garland, who's kind of your hybrid because Garland played guard, he played defensive tackle, I think a little bit fullback, kind of just a jack of all trades. But then you got Brandon Fusco, who's not the youngest. You got Shawn Harlow, who's a 4th-round pick in 2017. There's just a couple guys, but ultimately, there might be a cap casualty here in Andrew Levitri. I think he restructured his deal a little bit. It's just when you reduce it, you're just moving it back. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, they're trying to prepare year by year for the Matt Ryan contract extension. But ultimately, I think a guy like Gossett certainly has a ceiling to start eventually. So you throw that guy on your roster, and he could be a cheap starter, which is kind of what you need when Matt Ryan gets paid all the bucks. Moving into the 6th round at pick 200, I was selecting edge rusher Kylie Fitz from Utah. I think he comes in, can compete for defensive end 4, Sam 2, if Vic Beasley truly is a Sam. And, I kind of missed that. Might have went over my head as just a general football fan. If you're going for just a guy that can get after the quarterback for your starting Sam, he could be number 2. Get Leroy Reynolds, JT Jones, who? At least Fitz had a very good combine. Kind of like the workout warrior a little bit this year. And surpriser from the edge rushing category, the linebackers that were testing. But, he's, I think he's 6'4", 6'5", 265, 4'6", 40, 31 reps on the bench press through all like the agility drills, the cone drills, the shuttles. Was near top of his class. Had some injury issues. Definitely had some injury issues. But I think, for the Sam strong side linebacker in the 3-4 versatility. Well, I don't know. Do the Falcons run a multiple front? That's something that I always wanted to wonder. Like, I assume they run a multiple front. Their base is a 4-3, but they must have some 3-4 packages and stuff like that. Maybe diehard Falcon fans can let me know. But either way, Fitz is a really, really solid edge rusher. Great athlete. If he could stay healthy, and plus being, a rotational role, which is probably where he's going to find himself, helps staying healthy a little bit better, less wear and tear, less miles on the old tires. So I think this could be a nice little value pickup here in the 6th round. And moving to the 7th round, final pick, 244. I'm selecting cornerback Chris Campbell from Penn State. Just more so looking for a guy that can find his way onto the final 53. I think the back end of the cornerback depth chart for the Falcons is not anything special. And a guy like Chris Campbell is a very, very good athlete. A lot of scouts rant and rave that he's one of the better pure athletes at the cornerback spot. That also means good special teams ability. That's pretty much what you need here in the 7th round. Find some guys that might have a chance making the 53, if not in the practice squad. And if they do make the 53, they're going to have to be good at special teams. And usually good athletes are tend to be pretty decent on special teams. It doesn't always correlate because you can't tackle. What are you going to do out there? But yeah, just more so in the 7th round. Get some special team stud and some cornerback depth. So it's not the prettiest way down at the mock draft. But overall, Mo Hurst, James Washington, Quentin Meeks, Gossett, nice picks. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my self-proclaimed nice picks for the Atlanta Falcons in the comment section below. If you have your own Atlanta Falcons mock draft, feel free just to post it side by side. We can do a comparison and see who has the better of the two. As always, if it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed the video. And until next time, guys, it's C4 saying peace out.